coming in hot for the holidays.
You're just waking me up, which is great.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another week of Midwest Married. Please follow us on Instagram and subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate you. If you know anybody, tell them too. We're trying to grow this thing huge. And this week, it's a holiday week.
It's a holiday week.
And it's the good stretch of the holidays coming into Thanksgiving, Thursday off, Black Friday off for some of you, most of us.
If you're not in retail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or medicine.
Right. And then we got
a lot of the world works on, especially Black Friday. But Thanksgiving too.
Yeah. Then it's Christmas and New Year's.
So many holidays.
And then it's a grind.
So many holidays.
Unless you're like Miller and get President's Day off and
Columbus Day, all the things.
All the things.
All the federal holidays.
Well, it sounds very nice.
Yeah.
Well, so many holidays, so many opportunities for drama. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, holiday drama and how to avoid the drama or embrace the drama. I don't know.
Yes.
In our family, probably on my side, at least, is
Drama Central.
Embrace.
Gotta
love it.
Or at least just get through it. I don't know. Thanks again for listening. I'm Amy.
I'm Matt.
I'm Ryan.
Ryan's hanging out with us today to
Yes.
share all sorts of insights on holiday drama.
Yes.
So is your family low key? Is it like drama is something to be expected?
No, I think it's kind of a mixture of two things. So it's my side of the family, like my mom's side of the family. It's kind of they're fun, they're loud, they're rambunctious. You never know really what's going to happen or what they're going to say.
Maybe more holiday chaos then.
Yeah,
not really drama.
I'd say so. Yeah. And then my wife's side of the family, just very chill, even keel, go with the flow type of thing. And then there's me in the middle, just kind of, trying to manage all of those things, which I'm sure we'll get into, but
hidden drama.
Yeah, I'd probably bring more of the drama onto myself.
Sure. You protect the other people from the drama.
Yes.
There you go. And there's just so much to do. It's like managing the holiday stress on top of the drama.
Yeah.
So, figuring out dinners and who's bringing what and holidays and how are you going to do the dice game or whatever. What kind of activities are you going to do?
Where's it going to be this year?
Where's it going to be?
Where were we last year?
Yes.
There's certain things that are going to change that where you're 2 years in a row instead of 1 year in a row. All those type of things.
Are we going to go see your family on the day, my family on the day? You can't be in two places at once.
Yeah.
So many things.
Yep.
All right. Well, according to, because I always do a little bit of research.
Starting it off with research.
Data.
Let's go.
American Psychological Association, 38% of people reported heightened stress levels during the holiday season. I thought that was going to be higher. I thought it was going to be like 99% of people have heightened stress during the holidays, but 38% apparently. But the National Alliance on Mental Illness suggests that 64% of people find family gatherings specifically to be emotionally overwhelming.
That was my question, to see specifically if it was stressful to get presents and get all those things aligned, or was it more of the
family drama
gathering?
Family drama. Well, we're going to start right in, I think, with a little bit of Reddit here. Title being, My Guilty Pleasure is the Family Holiday Drama.
All right.
So my job is super stressful this time of year, culminating in an exhausting day of accounting on 12/31. Once I get off work, there's nothing I love more than wearing my favorite bathrobe and fuzzy socks and having a bowl of lightly salted popcorn while scrolling the family drama that happened during the holidays. This year promises to be extra spicy. Now, I believe sharing is caring, so I will leave you with the drama from our Thanksgiving last year. We had a little over 30 people for Thanksgiving. Around 20 were great uncles, aunts, and cousins from across the country. One of the aunts is a deaconess. That was is that the correct term? He's not sure. I'm not sure either. I will call Aunt D. I find her to be very judgmental towards people that are not Christians. This is relevant. The aunts and uncles are in the kitchen playing spades. Second involved aunt will be referred to as Aunt Cal. the oldest sibling and the matriarch / family problem solver. I'm standing at the bar observing their card game. Aunt Dee starts mentioning a cousin that was unable to attend because of her relationship issues. She goes into saying how their relationship is not working because they haven't given their lives to God. Aunt Cal cuts her off and says, "Now, how can you say that when your husband left you for that barely legal young girl while he was the pastor of y'all's church? Aren't you the one that stood up in church and told the congregation that what he was doing, or am I wrong? Not only that, but you still took him back." Baby, you could hear a mouse pissing on cotton. I actually clutched my pearls. Aunt Dee finally says, "That situation involved a lot of different circumstances." Now, the real tea is that after 8 years of being divorced, her husband has come back after that young girl left him broke and in poor health. He was actually on our back porch at that very moment. I can't tell y'all what else she said because the second-hand embarrassment was too much. So I ran my 40-something-year-old ass out of there to go tell my 40-something-year-old baby sister what just happened. So we had us a good old cackle because somebody had finally put her in her place. I can say Aunt Dee was pleasantly subdued the remainder of her visit. Well, I thought I would get that off my chest. Anyways, happy holidays and happy Redditing. So this is clearly someone who has embraced the holiday drama and is just sitting over there with his popcorn being like, okay, what are the aunts going to say this year? How is this going to go? Who's going to call each other out on their shit and point out when they're calling, the kettle black? So, reactions?
First of all, I love that perspective of just sitting in the background, observing the story, and then writing about it. I am totally this kind of person because we have a big family and we're all together. Like I'm more the person I'm not going to get into any political arguments. I'm not going to cause any drama, but I will be the one that I sit there and I observe. And I observe whether it's good or bad energy.
And then you go in the other room with your sister or brother and you'd be like, "Did you see that?"
Yeah. We're usually at the end of the night. We go back to my cousins or whatever. We have a glass of whiskey and be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe Uncle so-and-so said that or that happened." But I am totally in those type of environments, that person that kind of observes and talks about it.
30 people to me seems like a lot for family gathering. The problem is I would love to be in your position and eat the popcorn and relish in everybody else's shit and come back and we could bullshit about it in whatever fashion. The problem is, at least on my side of the table, Morgan and my side, I'm usually a part of the drama. I am part of the problem. Whether I can't keep my mouth shut or...
You're not able to sit back and eat the popcorn. You're Aunt Cal who's calling other people out on their shit.
Yeah, like go fuck yourself. That's not true at all. Like,
oh yeah.
You're setting it straight.
I'm the one that will talk about you.
We're like that, and that's fine. But I think we're on the trifecta of 3 back-to-back Christmases with drama. This will be the 3rd upcoming. So maybe it's a trifecta, maybe it won't be, but the last 2 Christmases / holiday seasons have been rough in our household.
Like leading up to it or like during the time?
During the event.
During the event. We all show up happy-spirited and we all leave mad, crying, upset.
Meanwhile, me and Justin are over here. Where are you? We're like the in-laws eating the popcorn, being like, "Oh goodness, I am not going to get involved here." And yeah. And
then on Amy's side, everything is so passive aggressive, and it's usually like leading up to the event via text message. One person will be like, "Oh, what time is that party again?" Well, didn't you see the text thread? Well, there's 50 text threads with a ton of different people. And then it's like, Then memes start getting thrown at each other.
This
Don't hate.
This might be a true story that just happened yesterday.
Yesterday.
Did you get the memo?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like,
basically.
dude,
Nobody's outright mean, but maybe a little bit passive aggressive. Then there's other people who are trying to like throw in that funny meme to be like, haha, just kidding. Yeah. Everybody bring it down.
Eating the popcorn. I literally did the popcorn one.
Over text? Yeah.
Yeah. I was like.
And that's a whole different ballgame too. Is the tone and like what you're feeling, what somebody else perceives.
And then you have the other text threads with only some people reacting to the big main one.
Yep.
So then when we all get together though, there's no drama.
No, never.
Never.
And
everybody just gets along and it's easy and fun and happy.
Do you guys host?
No, 800 square feet.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
So if you were to host, do you think you still would be part of the problem, as you would say?
No.
Or do you think it's a different element if people are here?
So all of the issues that have all the drama that's happened on your side seem to be around one figure ish.
But not last year. It was Morgan's fault.
But not really. It was still the person who had the problem.
Oh, yeah. On the other side. Was the
same person that always triggers the drama.
Yeah.
There's one drama queen.
Yeah.
/ king.
We'll say that person is extremely stubborn and very firm in his beliefs. And
yeah,
it's not good.
His way or the highway.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it all goes. But people enjoyed this post and this guy dishing the tea about his own family drama and how his great aunts are calling each other out for getting divorced and standing up in church and calling it out and so forth. Thank you for sharing. I agree. There's nothing I love more than reading all of the dysfunction and comparing it to my own family's.
If anybody has a good write-in about family drama, would love to hear more. And before you continue with what the people say, I just want to let you know, everyone out there, that I have noticed the influx of write-ins, and December, I promise there will be a listener write-in episode, and I'm going to start.
We're going to do more of those?
I'm going to start doing more of those throughout our regular episodes where I can bring some in. So keep writing in. Thank you, and let us know about your family drama.
All right. Is your Aunt Cal taking applications for adoption? Because I want her as my auntie. This woman is my spirit animal. Great story. Keep them coming. Also, Christian here. Can't stand Christians who think it's okay to judge non-Christians because it goes directly against what the Bible teaches us. Next time your aunt tries this, ask her what she thinks about verses 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verses. Well, they get real specific. 12 to 13.
It's hard being self-righteous.
Yeah, for sure. Probably just shouldn't be. Cast throwing stones. All right. It's always wild when people start throwing shade like that, especially when it involves their own messy situations. All right, very good.
Yeah, it is interesting. And I will agree with OP that a lot of times the people that are deep into their faith are the most judgmental in a lot of situations.
Yes. Yeah. I will, well, from my personal experience, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
We have a person in our family who he's like not like the class clown, but he's like, oh, Uncle so-and-so, like I can't wait till he gets a few beers in him. And he's just so funny and he jokes around. He's always fun to be around, but he's the most religious one, like with hardcore beliefs that you get 2 or 3 or 4 more beers in him, then it's like, hey.
Then there's a line.
Then,
you don't want him to cross.
The line, and that's when the drama starts.
You're not living your life right, Miller.
Pretty much.
Calling you out. Man.
Serious,
stay in your lane, people.
So
stay in your lane.
I will agree with that on my personal experience that in our family, or my mom's big side of the family, it's the...
So what's the right way to deal with that then?
And that's a good question. And I'm like, again, it kind of goes back to the story. Like I'm the one kind of in the background monitoring, looking at the energy, what's the relationships going on, what are the conversations going on. And like, for example, my brother, if my uncle would start talking to my brother about politics or religion, and they're both very like strong in their beliefs, then it's just like, all of a sudden it's like, well, fucking do this, I was like, Jesus, God, who cares? Like, and my uncle tries to get
And
me into those conversations a
politics.
lot. I'm like, Uncle so-and-so, I'm not talking about this right now. I'm not going to do this right now.
Yeah.
And then I'll like switch the subject, or I'll be like, do something funny, like an old story or something, and it switches the subject. So I do it very slyly. I
would say that I'm the people pleaser, and I can feel the tension in a lot of those situations. So same thing. I'd be like, hey, I can see both sides, guys, but hey, you remember? And then deflect.
I have a hard time. Usually your family doesn't like specifically call me out on things. And especially if there's no wine involved, I generally keep my mouth shut. But if I've had a glass or two of wine, then that's a little more difficult for me, because it's just, whenever anybody has strong feelings one way or another, sometimes it's hard not to share them.
Right.
What?
Yeah. And sometimes you just have to accept that people are who they are. Aunt D is who she is, and Aunt C is going to be that person that's going to call you out.
Yeah.
So just accept it and just move on, everyone.
Just plan for it.
Or stoke the
mentally,
fire,
I guess.
poke the bear.
Plan for it. Can't do that.
Yeah.
Let's go. Blocked.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. We're moving on. We're going to deflect.
Nice.
Mother-in-law's Thanksgiving drama due to the fact that I have family as well.
Ooh.
Yes, this is a rant. All right. My wife, female 42, and I, male 47, have been together for 8 years. In all of our time together, I have never had a holiday with my family. I'm not really complaining about that, since I've never really cared. To me, it hasn't really mattered if I see my parents on Christmas or Thanksgiving or a few days after. I've always felt that holidays are way too stressful, and I would prefer to get through them with as little stress as possible. My wife has a larger family. She has 4 kids from a previous marriage. She also has a brother with 2 children. So when we all get together, it's about 20 people or more when you add in girlfriends and boyfriends, and for now, the cutest grandchild I could ever have asked for. I have one brother who has a wife and 4 kids between them. However, he lives like 5 hours away. My wife and I live 20 minutes away from both of our respective parents. I normally get along great with her family. The mother-in-law situation can be strained at times, though. Not really for anything towards me, but comments towards my wife and brother-in-law have been hard to take at times. I put a stop to the comments toward my wife years ago because I have a black belt in passive aggressiveness and sarcasm. I finally had enough of her comments 2 years into our relationship, and if she ever started something, I would crank up my sarcasm to about a 10 and then let a few of those jokes fly. Things have been pretty okay since then. Effective strategy for him, I guess. But to the main issue, my mother called me today to ask about Thanksgiving. She said, my brother and sister-in-law are coming this year, and she really wants me to be there. This means if I go, my wife will go with me. However, our kids will not have to come with us. The kids will be at my mother-in-law's house for Thanksgiving and do not have to come to my parents. For some reason, the mere fact that my wife and I might be 1 or 2 hours late to the mother-in-law's Thanksgiving is unacceptable. We have a family group chat. It took her 30 minutes after we told her about our plans to get on and ask, quote, who will be to Thanksgiving on time this year?
On time.
It took 1 hour after that for her to call my wife and ask if we were serious about putting my family first. She was told yes, because I also have a family and have not spent one holiday with them for our entire relationship. She then called back and asked me to arrange for my mother to change the time we had Thanksgiving. I asked her if she had ever heard of a family having Thanksgiving dinner at 9:30 in the morning.
Oh.
The silence was deafening. Thank God I have a wife who didn't hesitate to have my back. Now I have 23 days of texts and phone calls to look forward to, but this year I'm choosing my family. And all of this because we will be 1 or 2 hours late.
Wow.
So the whole debate about like sides of the family.
don't even go. Just stay with your family at that point. What is the point? If it's going to cause this much drama, why? Just draw the line. This year, we're doing Thanksgiving here. Next year, we'll be there. Flip, flop, every other year. And do it that way. And then who gets Christmas? I'm not sure how you got to work it out, but it shouldn't cause drama because there's two sides to every family. And it's not fair for the other person, the other spouse, or your significant other, if you're solely only going to their family, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't believe the audacity of this mother-in-law. Like, how entitled are you to be like, yep, I'm inviting you to my house for a holiday, and you have to be there at exactly this time, and it always has to be that you're coming over here, even though he has family in town. And like, how does one even have that mindset? It just blows my mind. I don't know how people can be like that.
I'm going to let Miller speak. I know he's got something, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to ask a question.
No, I was going to go back to your point about, saying we're having Thanksgiving here this year. We're going to flip and flop every year. And I think OP here just needs to be more, and I fall in the same trap. Like, you just need to be more aggressive and more assertive and confident in your speaking to your mother or your mother-in-law, like what your plans are, and not like beating around the bush. Like, oh, you coming for Thanksgiving, right? This year? I'm like, yeah, I think so. I don't know. We'll talk about it, this and that. And then it builds up.
It off,
and then you push it off. And then it's a week, 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. You're like, great. So here's the plan. So they're going to stay at your house. It's like, whoa, skirt. We're actually not coming this year. What? Like that type of thing.
Earlier the better.
Earlier the better. And in all phases, like family, sometimes work stuff. Like, if you can tackle that issue earlier, have that difficult conversation. And like you said, like, it's your family, who's taking all things into account, like data gather. Where were we last year? Are the circumstances different this year? Is somebody flying in? Maybe it's their...
like in this case, his brother's flying in.
Yeah.
They're, they never get to hang out together.
Was somewhere else last year. And technically it's here this year. It's like, well, circumstances change. My aunt's driving up from so-and-so. My brother's flying in and somebody's having a baby.
Yeah.
Like, so this year makes more sense then we'll figure it out later. Maybe you do 2 Thanksgivings or whatever, but having that difficult conversation or just being assertive really early on and laying expectations so it doesn't build up to a week, 2 weeks before Christmas, and you have this type of mother-in-law who's already made all these type of plans, and all of a sudden you're like, no, I'm not going. Or sorry, this is our plan. I should have told you like 2 months ago, but
this is it.
This is it. So for us, I think we have it now, 20 some odd years later. We have yet to miss a Christmas together, even through our dark days. Bloop, bloop. We made every one of those happen. But I will say, in our younger years, if you come from a broken home, it got a little interesting for us where it was, Christmas Eve, Christmas, and we juggled 3 households.
Right.
You do Christmas Eve. My dad does Christmas Eve, and then my family does Christmas Day. So it would be, all right, we're going to go to Matt's dad's house at 4:00. We're going to get out of there by 7 and then spend the rest of the night at Amy's place and then do the dice game. And for the most part, we would miss dinner at your house, but it makes it a lot more complicated if you're coming from a broken home. And at some point, we just decided that we can't do it all. We are going to do one house on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
We were doing one house on Christmas, and that's it. And maybe because we drive by one of those houses on the way to one of the other, we'll pop in and say, hey, how's it going? Maybe stay for half an hour, 45 minutes, and then got to get to dinner. See ya.
I mean, that could take the joy out of it too, right? If you're planning so much and you're traveling and your short stints here and there, and maybe, like you said, 1 year you do it here for a longer extended time.
It's not worth it.
I think that it's almost harder to have everybody living in the same town because everybody expects you,
1,000,000%,
especially after you have kids, everybody expects you to be there because they don't really care about seeing us, but they care about seeing the kids.
Yes.
Yep.
So,
at least if you get to go out of town, peace, we're out of here. And you're just
It's a different
there.
ballgame.
Because everybody understands, oh, well, you're 2 hours away or you're 3 hours away. So you can't do that back and forth kind of situation.
And trying to please everyone is exhausting and stressful. Take it from the master of people pleasing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we also, though, kind of came to, and it just kind of worked out too. So even Thanksgiving, we treat it like Christmas, where Thanksgiving typically is with your family. Black Friday is typically then with my family. And it works out for the majority of my family because all of my siblings are doing the same thing with their in-laws.
Yeah.
They go see the in-laws on Thanksgiving, and then we all huddle together on Black Friday. So that's how we've made it work, especially for those two holidays. Now, this year is an interesting year. I'm very excited about it, but it's the first time that I'm going to be really missing my family Thanksgiving
Me too.
altogether. Well, we kind of already did a family Thanksgiving for you.
We did. My side of the family actually did celebrate because we are going to be
in California. We're going to go visit Auntie
Cali,
Morgan, and we're taking the kids to
It's gonna
Disneyland
be awesome.
on Black Friday. And we're going to visit Jerry, and we're going to do Thanksgiving with Morgan and Justin and Jerry and Danette and Taylor and our kids. And it's our very first time the kids are going on an airplane. They're super pumped.
Is it really? Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's going to be kind of nice that it's going to be just like, we don't have to juggle this year.
Yeah.
We're just going to one place.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I kind of did what you did or suggested as far as this is, the first time that we're not going to be at our family Thanksgiving. So I just told my mom, hey mom, guess what? We're going to California over Thanksgiving. And her reaction was just like, oh, well, that sounds really nice. Of course we'll miss you, but we're happy that you're going to be able to go and do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the thing. And if you didn't say that, maybe you waited a month or 2 months and then it's like, oh, so you're coming over, right?
Yeah.
No, then all those suggested things keep coming over. But no, it's awesome. You guys will have fun.
Yeah.
Get
it's
out
going to
of
be
here
great.
for a little bit. And
So expect some crossover episodes we plan to record with Morgan and hopefully Jerry out there, and maybe we can do the trifecta and have all
That would
three
be awesome if
podcasts
you guys
under
did that.
one.
yes,
That's my goal. But stay tuned
That'd be fun.
next week.
Okay, I'm just looking at the comments now. They're quoting him. I'm finally had enough of her comments 2 years ago into our relationship. If she ever started something, I would crank my sarcasm up to a 10 and let a few jokes fly. And they say, I'm drooling for examples. Teach me, my master. And OP responded, I'll give you one. For context, my wife has exes that are not good people, abusive in all the ways. I had to live through the stalking, arrests, courts, and stuff like that. So one time in her mom's living room with my mother-in-law, father-in-law, my wife, and myself, just having a conversation, she looked me dead in the eyes and said, you seem so normal. Why are you with her? I took about a second and I looked her dead in the eyes and I said, I don't really know. But when I'm done with her, you'll never find the body. The rest of the visit was a little awkward, but we laughed all the way home. It took a year of visits where if she said anything that was a bit much or backhanded as a compliment, I would respond in kind.
I like that. I
wonder if she
I'm not
picks up on the
clever.
sarcasm or not. That'd be the funny thing too. If he tries to keep pumping the sarcasm out, it's just
Yeah.
Oh.
You two can probably answer this best. Why are the mother-in-laws always the problem on either side? Why is it never rarely is it the father-in-law? I feel like mother-in-laws, are they more invested in these type of events? What's the deal? The mother-in-laws seem like a problem to me.
Well, you have a mother-in-law as well, but I don't really feel personally like that applies to you. I feel like you get along pretty well.
Your mom went to World War III in our youth. And
now
we destroyed each other that there was only healing that could happen after that.
You were a phoenix. You rose from the ashes.
Correct.
Is that what happened?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I don't see your dad all that often, so I don't know if that truly applies
No,
in
he'd
my
probably just hit on you
situation.
the
It's
whole
more
time.
subjective in this.
I mean,
in this,
we also do have some drama on your dad's side of the family as well.
just let that one go to voicemail. Oh.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation for anybody that heard what I just said, but
we'll just brush over that.
yeah.
So I think sometimes it's about finding your role in the family, though, right? Like who's hosting, who's the leader of this,
Who's the
how is
relationship
that
manager?
right?
Me.
Personality wise, some people have stronger personalities than others. I don't think it's always the mother-in-law. Sometimes I think that they get a bad rap because, especially in your family, I would argue that the instigator of the drama is not your mom, although she's often involved. But the drama king of the family.
Sure.
So,
and I'll say this so you don't have to. My mom is a bulldog. She's a beast.
which is not always a bad thing. I mean, there's a lot of situations that can be a really good thing. I'll just tell you that you really want to have Danette on your side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Because she can be your fiercest advocate or don't meet her in a back alley.
Okay.
Which again is
Understood.
not a bad trait to have when you are on the right side of things.
Right.
Mhm.
I think that's why our mothers appreciate each other.
Yeah, they get along well.
Yeah. I would bring my mom to help buy me a car because she is a negotiator to the T.
I would bring Danette to help buy me a car.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm too passive. I can't do it. It's hard on me to ask those questions that feel uncomfortable.
Yep.
Well, she will go in there and she'll get me a really
That
good
price
deal.
isn't good enough. Nope. And when
And
I leave
she'll
here, I don't take all your
charm them
pens.
at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. But has
Anyway.
anybody seen Amy's sweatshirt today? I'm deflecting, by the way. The tension was rising, but
It was.
look at that news.
But I will share my
Hey.
sweatshirt. It's so cute.
I don't know if they can see it, but it's funny.
Some people collect brewery t-shirts and sweatshirts, and I've decided that my thing is going to be book
Heck yeah.
Book t-shirts.
t-shirts and
Book
sweatshirts. So this is Fourth Wing. Highly recommend. Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Onyx Storm is coming out January 21st. Very excited. Anyway,
On with the drama.
on with
new
the
trend.
drama. Okay, so
good.
let's move on here. We're gonna move on to a little sexism. Feels right.
Like it.
Am I the asshole for asking the men to clean after Thanksgiving dinner? My 42 female husband, 37 male, and I were invited to his sister's house for Thanksgiving. I love to cook and entertain, so I volunteered to make a lot of dishes. Other people brought food also. I cooked for 2 days straight, and today, the morning of Thanksgiving, I suggested to my husband that he should gather up all the men to clean the kitchen after the shared meal, since literally only the women were the ones who cooked and prepared everything. Divide and conquer, if you will. He agreed to do so. After we had a great meal, after dinner, everyone sat around chatting with coffee and were having a good time. At some point, the men all transitioned to the living room to watch football while the women began helping my sister-in-law clean her kitchen. The kitchen connects to the living room, so it was evident what was going on. On the way home, I asked my husband what happened and why he didn't pitch in to help with the cleanup. He said, I have a victim complex, and I'm choosing to be in a bad mood. I told him, I'm not in a bad mood. I'm just bringing up what was previously discussed and agreed upon, and asked him if he thought it was fair. He then proceeded to tell me how there are certain jobs he has to do because he has testicles.
Oh.
I said, that's not the point here. I'm not talking about the
Digging your
prior
grave.
situations or arguments. Just this evening in particular. Am I the asshole for thinking that all the people, in this case, all the men of the family who contributed nothing to the meal, should have a hand in cleaning it up afterwards?
No, you're not the asshole. Isn't there what? TiVo, YouTube TV, pause the game.
You can do all those things.
You all gather and do the dishes. It takes you half an hour tops if you all pitch in. I'm weird though. Like if I'm hosting, I enjoy cleaning up and seeing the end product of a clean kitchen. Oh. Or if it's not Thanksgiving, we have like, say you guys and like 5 other families over. I'll stay up till 11 midnight, clean the whole thing. So when you wake up, it's nice and clean. And oh, that was fun. We had people over. I don't know why.
That makes sense. I think the problem here is that he agreed to clean up and then ignored it. And then when confronted with not following through on what he said he was going to do, he was being a little bitch.
Oh, he's playing I have testicles. I'm going to watch football. And
did he?
Nobody likes that.
Well,
it was
have some awareness here.
Yeah. Did he say
wrong
that
things to say.
he was playing the victim card, that he had a victim, or he was saying
he's saying
she
you
did?
are poor you had to clean up. He's saying you're playing a victim card, saying that she's the victim after slaving away and cooking, planning the meals and cooking for 2 days to get ready for this Thanksgiving event. Now she's the victim because she had asked him to help and then he didn't.
Yeah.
And so it's her fault.
He needs to be smacked up a little bit. Is football really that important? The NFL and football is a huge thing, right? It's a ginormous enterprise and they play it on holidays. But is that really, I understand it's like something that you can bond over with family, but come on, people, put your priorities aside. TiVo that thing.
Yeah. Well, then and also let's say it's your, let's just say we're all here, right? At your house. And this is Amy saying, all right, Matt, time to clean the dishes. And you're like, no, I'm watching football. If I'm on the couch, like what's that person's role? It's like, hey, I'll help you. Let's go do the dishes.
Let's go crank it out. Let's go get it done.
Sit there and continue to watch the game too.
So I'm sure the rest of the men were not aware of this prior conversation, right? So there was nobody probably like, hey, let's go do the dishes aside, like unless it were to come from within their own being, right? Because she only had that conversation with her husband. And so he had agreed to be the one to be like, hey guys, let's all go and clean up. But he chose not to.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for a moment in time. All right.
Get ready to roast.
Roast me if you want to. They left Thanksgiving, right? It was at somebody else's house.
It looks like it.
Right? Sister-in-law, right? Sure. Sister-in-law was the one ended up cleaning. Did I catch that right?
All the women.
So maybe he didn't feel comfortable doing the dishes at somebody else's house or...
It's a weak ass devil's advocate.
I know. I want to throw it out there. I can't understand why he would commit and say, yeah, I'll clean up after dinner and then throw it back in this person's face.
Probably didn't think she was actually going to confront him to have him actually do the dishes.
Well, that's
probably being nice in the moment, being like, yeah, I'll do the dishes after you guys all cook. And all right, time to do dishes.
Going back to your prior point, he agreed to it. Right. He didn't follow through. And then when confronted about it, he doubled down and basically flipped it and gaslit her, saying that she was the one who's in the wrong for feeling bad that he didn't do what he told her he was going to do.
If it was at this house, we would have given him options. You can do the dishes or you can get outside and chop firewood. Pick.
So here's what the people said. If you didn't cook, you got to clean. It's called teamwork and helping someone you love. Yep, that was the rule in my family, especially at my grandmother's. We were told to clean as we go. So generally, by the time dinner was ready, all the pots and pans were at least soaking in the sink while we ate dinner. It made getting the kitchen cleaned up after we ate a lot faster. Not the asshole. If I acted like this, my wife would tell me to get takeout and eat by myself for the next year. And ask him which testicle is stopping him from helping with chores and offer to chop that one off. That was a cackle.
What a cackle.
He was a dick and played a dick move, then was sexist about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not the asshole is the resounding vote.
The audacity.
The audacity. So, long story short, moral of the story, lesson, when you're going to the holidays, especially if you say you're going to help, you better help. or else you're going to be the asshole.
Just help regardless.
And just help regardless.
Oh my God.
Teamwork makes the dream work, people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, some people.
Some people's kids. I don't know. While I was perusing the topic of dogs and holidays and that realm of things got brought up quite often. I was kind of surprised.
Like who watches the dogs or bringing your dogs to a house?
More like bringing your dogs to holidays and etiquette surrounding pets.
And which family member gets to bring their dogs and which ones have to leave them home. Oh my God, this is such a good topic.
You're way more excited.
Picked a good one.
I guess. I mean, don't judge yet. Might not be. Actually, it's okay. Just listen. Here we go. So, am I the asshole for not wanting my brother to bring his dogs to my house for Christmas? I, 38 female, and my husband have a 4-year-old son. My brother, 34, has 2 big dogs, 60 to 70 pounds each. And he is single with no kids. For years, him bringing his dogs to family events has been a huge source of contention. His dogs are 6 and 8, and one of them has been reactive to my son and my niece, my sister's kid, also 4, on more than one occasion. The dog isn't outwardly aggressive, but hates the noise and the chaos with kids. If the kids run, jump, or move too quickly, she's quick to bark and snap. The other dog is sweet, but quite wild. She is constantly trying to get into food, chewing the kids' toys, and jumping over furniture. Both dogs also shed like crazy, and it takes me 2 days to clean up their hair after they leave. I'm a dog lover, but our 2 passed early after my son was born. They were both very old and sick for years, and we are waiting until our son is older to get another. When my son was born, I set the boundary that my brother's dogs are not to come over when the kids are here. Since then, my mom and dad, who live down the street, have offered to let the dogs stay at their house while everyone is gathered at mine, thus eliminating any drama while allowing my brother, who lives an hour away, to participate in family events, get drunk, and spend the night with my mom and dad and his dogs without having to really worry about making alternative arrangements. This year, I offered to host Christmas at my house, as usual because nobody else likes to do it. The difference is that my parents got divorced last year after 41 years of marriage and are in the process of trying to reconcile. They are currently in a shitstorm of drama, and tonight, Christmas Eve, they had a big fight. My brother, understandably, wants to eliminate the need to stay with them on Christmas, which means he wants to bring his dogs to my house instead of having to rely on my parents to house them at theirs. I told him no. I'm hosting, and the chaos that comes with his dogs, the dog hair, having to try to keep the kids calm on Christmas Day so one of the dogs doesn't react, worrying about them getting into the food and the gifts, etc., makes the day miserable for me and brings on a lot of anxiety. His response was, well, since you can't manage your anxiety for 1 day out of the year, I'm just coming to drop the gifts off and then I'm leaving. He is essentially trying to guilt trip me because it means he won't be able to spend the full Christmas day with our family. I'm not great at setting and holding boundaries and feel incredibly guilty. In the past, my mom would tell me I'm unreasonable because his dogs are, quote, like his kids, and we need to accommodate him for special occasions. However, since I had a child, she's been more understanding and thus has volunteered to house his dogs herself as a solution. To be fair to my parents, they are still volunteering to house my brother's dogs. He just doesn't want to do that because he doesn't want to be around their personal drama. I feel like the rest of my family is shit at maintaining boundaries. Nobody wants to deal with his dogs, but I'm the only one who has held true to my no. Despite my logical side, I feel guilty that this means he will be alone for most of Christmas. Am I the asshole?
Go ahead.
You were very excited about this one, Matt,
Yes.
So you should let us know. What are your thoughts?
This is a great story, too, by the way. This is so real.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say no, he's not the asshole. It's his house. It's his space that the dogs are going to enter. And I did like the point. Like
Her house, right?
Her house.
Her.
OP is a 38-year-old
Brother
female.
wants to bring
Female. I
to
missed
her
that.
house. She's
Missed
got
that.
the kid.
Okay.
Got it.
Yep.
So her house and dog shed, and being that these are 60 or 70 pound dogs, I'm just assuming, I think lab, when I think, hear shedding, it sticks to everything. It sticks to your clothes. It's everywhere. It's not a great situation. I just think that if that's your space and you don't want the dogs, not even because of the mess that they might make or the hair, whatever, just a simple fact that it's acknowledged that the dog is reactive to kids and you have kids, why even take the chance? Unless you have the opportunity to lock them in the basement, put them in the backyard that's fenced in, put them on leashes, bring a ground leash where you spin that hook into the ground and bloop, there you go. There's your 50-yard run. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Other than that, unless you have a solution to provide, then figure it out. You're an adult.
Yep.
Be like, all right, I'm going to come to your house for Christmas. I got to board my dogs. I found a kennel that's 30 minutes away. And most kennels, at least in our neck of the woods, are great. They go outside, they play, they have people that go and take care of them, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Does that cost a little bit extra money and can everybody afford it? Maybe not. And then it's, hey, sister, I would really love to come to Christmas. I can't afford to kennel my dogs. I don't know what to do with them. Mom and dad are on the fucking rocks because dad's pounding the babysitter or whatever it might be. So let's figure it out.
That.
Can you like chip in $50? I don't know. I'm just throwing out an example there, people. Jokes. But seriously, let's figure it out. We're adults. You don't want the dogs at your house? Help me come up with a solution.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Be the solution. Help me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're not the asshole. We had a very, I'll say similar situation a couple of years ago, but it's more so, we have two young girls, two young daughters who are, they're at the time they were kind of afraid of dogs. And, my brother had, 2 German short hairs. So they're bigger dogs. And same thing, asked if we could bring them over. Yeah, bring them over. And then it's just kind of one thing led to the next. It was more of the dogs are great around kids. It was more of the kids like, oh, they jumped or they're going to lick me. They love you. And then, I think it was just a little.
They add a certain chaos.
Don't be a little baby. She's fine. And our girl's over dramatic. They cry. He's like, well, I'm not bringing the dogs. And then leaves. I was like, whoa, this all happened when I was upstairs taking a shower. And all of a sudden they come down to all this. But I think it's, I agree with you. It's figured out. I think we said the same thing. I was like, yeah, we got a kennel right down the road from our place, or offer them some different options around the area. I think he's got to figure it out.
There's a solution that is already in there. I don't understand why he doesn't still leave his dogs with mom and dad. And if he doesn't want to stay with mom and dad, why can't they dog sit the dogs and he just picks the dogs up when he's going out of town the next day?
Yeah, why can't sister
I don't understand that.
Find a cot for brother to sleep on at the house?
So he can sleep at sister's house.
Brother doesn't want
Mom and dad has the dogs
around all the drama, or doesn't even want to. Sounds like doesn't even want to stop by.
No, he
well, then he needs to grow up and be like,
right.
That's the price you pay for 5 minutes of drama.
Yeah, figure it out.
Like I don't think that is like, if they're still offering to take the dogs, like, is it really that bad to just pick them up?
Well, it's always nice to have a backup plan. Right. I mean, it's for those type of situations. Like, we have at least two kennels and a backup friend. So 3 options in this type of situation. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, can you last minute stuff, holiday stuff? Like, I don't want to risk it stuff. Like, can you just take the dog for the weekend? Of just having some sort of backup plan, whether that's where you live in your hometown or if you're traveling.
What are you going to do with your pets?
Yeah.
Have a plan.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's nobody else's responsibility. And I also, another reason that I had problems with this was his reaction of the guilting her. Oh, well, you're the problem. You're the reason why I can't be at Christmas. You certainly are more than welcome. It's just your dogs that are not.
Right. Yep.
So.
Well, can I chime in before you get to the people?
Sure.
I think as somebody who owns a dog and you love your dog, you don't always think of the people that you're bringing the dog to. Specifically, in our instance, we have dogs.
Yes.
And we'll bring our dogs to your mom and dad's, for instance, and we're told, oh, your mom has allergies. It's not great for the dogs to be over here. But then I don't care one iota. It's just a little like tinge that like clicks in the back of my head. Why the hell does Maple get to come to every Christmas and poor Harlem and Havoc are sitting at home 1 block away? We rarely bring our dogs over for any family functions.
Well, I don't want to deal with the chaos of our dogs. That's why I leave them home. Some people are allergic to one breed and not the other. I think Maple's fur is different.
Yeah.
And they've given express they say that Maple can come, and that is fine. They're hosting.
Yeah. Or people that, hey, I'm coming over. I got the dog with me. We'll see you in a little bit. And you're like, fine. Now I got to lock our dogs up. Well,
it's really just because one of our dogs is reactive to other dogs.
Correct.
And we would feel terrible if our dog did not get along with their dog and something were to happen.
It's just an interesting dynamic that you got to think about all the other people involved.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Getting back to this story was brother doesn't have a wife or kids, correct?
Mm-hmm. So that's his
baby. He just has
babies.
the dog. So that like his mindset and his whole perspective is totally different
It's his life.
than the other end where you have kids and you're hosting and you're thinking of the shedding and the possible dog getting excited and scratching the baby and eating the food. But brother's like, I just want to bring my dogs over. It's not that big of a deal. Like, just doesn't have that experience or that responsibility of hosting or caring for another human and like all these other things. So that's the only, I guess, if I were to play devil's advocate, kind of seeing his point of view, he doesn't know what he doesn't know in that situation, that experience, what it's like. For him, it's just like, I'm just bringing my dogs over. It's not that big of a deal. Are you serious?
Right.
And
I'm going to deflect again. I got to just...
Bless you.
Very unrealistic for dad to be with the babysitter. They've been married for 40 some odd years. So maybe the waitress down the street or something.
There you go.
You're changing your... Oh my gosh. You're funny. All right. To the comments. No. Give him a plate of food, let him get drunk, and stay at your parents' house with his dogs. And OP says, I like your style. LOL. Another comment. I don't see why some kind of dog sitter or temporary place for those dogs couldn't have been found. Your request for no pets in your home is perfectly justified in any situation. I see no social reason that anyone should accept any pets into their personal home at any time. No pets, no smoking. Both restrictions are perfectly fine, and you don't need to explain yourself. Society has long since accepted those two preferences without questions. OP replies, it could have been. That's part of my frustration. My brother makes $250,000 a year. That's a lot of money. And could easily board his dogs for holidays. Mm-hmm. He consistently gives us a sob story about how his dogs are his family and he refuses to leave them with someone else. Ugh. Okay, well then he can afford a personal babysitter for his dogs, I think.
Yeah.
Agreed. He's got friends that would watch that dog.
Yeah.
Well, that's neat.
Are we going to have closing notes? Should I go back to my...
I think we should do some closing notes because we gotta wrap it up.
Mm-hmm. Perfectionism is an unrealistic goal and expectation.
Yep.
More research shows that perfectionism, especially during the holidays, can lead to anxiety and disappointment. And studies show that trying to create the perfect holiday can increase stress levels by as much as 40%.
Yes.
So turn the Hallmark Channel off. Mm-hmm. It's okay if your decorations don't totally match.
You're not going to please everybody. You're not going to make everybody happy.
And maybe that's it. Everybody has their own opinions. They come from their own backgrounds, their own little nuances. That's what makes us love them. But that's also what can make things really difficult that we just need to accept, move on, maybe embrace a little chaos.
Yep.
Know that it doesn't have to be perfect.
No. Mm-hmm. And how can you make things better? Like for me personally, in those situations, for me, going back to that second story, was having those difficult conversations up front. It doesn't matter if Thanksgiving's 3 or 2 months away. Because the worst mindset you get into is, it's 3 or 2 months away, and all of a sudden it's 2 weeks away, and you still already know what your plans are, but you haven't had that conversation yet. But just have that difficult conversation up front. Do it. And the second you have it, you're going to feel so much better. The stress is going to be off. The expectations are set. People know what's going on.
Avoid religion and politics.
Boom.
And judging people, especially if your past is not crystal clear, shiny, beautiful.
Right.
Yeah. Because you're going to be called out if it's not. If you're judging, don't judge. It's a good life rule anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, holidays. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
I think we're going to have some good happy holidays.
Yeah.
Full of chaos, drama.
It's snow out here.
Yeah, it's going to be 70
You guys are going to be in
degrees.
Cali in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Send some snaps.
We need a pack.
I want to see a palm tree. Just send me a palm tree. I'll be fine.
We'll get you a palm
Send
tree.
me a snap
There
of
we
a palm
go.
tree.
Perfect.
Yeah. And for anybody that's listening, I mean, holidays are here. Just be mindful. Be very demure. No drama. All right.
Yes. And be gentle with yourself. Holidays can also be just a really hard time for mental health too. So make sure that you're practicing good self-care.
And enjoy the
Chaos.
November Thursday nights, and you got the tree up, and you're watching a Hallmark movie. All of a sudden, it's going to be February and dark.
Have fun. Get drunk. Enjoy yourself.
That's why we love Matt. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks
Please
for being
be sure
here.
to
Like,
Subscribe.
follow
Oh,
Instagram, YouTube.
all those
We
things.
need your help.
Yeah.
Love you. Mwah. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
see you, everyone.